Tell my mom I'll be home soon. On the eve of March 8th, Serhiy unexpectedly received an audio message from someone else's Instagram page. He recognized the voice of his godfather, Vlad Ivanov, who, along with his brother Stas, was taken prisoner by Russia near the Kherson Bridge on February of the 24th. The mother also recognized her son's voice, and in the background, she could hear the sound of wheels, as if he were on his way home. I thought I'd get there by train, and I waited outside until 3 in the morning. I don't know what I was thinking at the time, says Olena Ivanova, and starts to cry. Vlad and Stas never arrived that night. On the night of September 23 to 24, Olena did not sleep again. Her blood pressure spiked, and she was waiting for the lists. 215 people were returning home from captivity. Among them were 10 foreign fighters, many Azovites, and famous commanders of the Azovstal defense. The country was stirred by this long-awaited good news. The SBU reports that 20 exchanges have already taken place, and 802 Ukrainians are free. Several thousand more, including 616 women, including pregnant women, continue to be held by the Russians, says Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk. We are talking about 2,500 prisoners. People remain in captivity, and the worst thing is that civilians remain there, she told BBC News Ukraine. The Ukrainian government has previously claimed that more than 2,000 Ukrainian soldiers have left Azovstal. At the same time, the Russian side speaks of 6,000 to 8,000 prisoners from the Ukrainian side. The Chechen said, "We'll hold you and let you go." The Ivanov brothers from Verkhivtsev in the Dnipro region are almost the same age. Vlad is 26, and Stas turned 25 in captivity. They went to the same class, then to the same group at the technical school. Almost at the same time, they signed a contract and joined the same military unit. Both were in the ATO. At the time of the Russian invasion, Vlad Ivanov was a squad leader of the 59th Brigade, and Stas was a grenade launcher in an infantry company. On the morning of February of the 24th, Vlad called a friend to wish him a happy birthday. The friend did not hear him, and when he called back, the Chechen had already answered the phone, and Vlad himself confirmed that he was in captivity, his mother says. The Chechen said, "Don't worry, we'll hold you and let you go." The woman recounts the conversation. Stas told his wife about his capture and told her to take care of their 7-year-old son, Arthur. Just like Vlad, Stas received a new message from someone else's number before March 8th. "Mom, I'm fine. I'm wounded in a hospital in Sevastopol, but I won't be disabled." Then she found a video on the internet where Stas, a prisoner, gives an interview with his head bandaged. In May, their fellow countrymen, who had been exchanged from Zminy Island, told Olena that he had seen the boys. According to him, they were in a pre-trial detention center in Kursk, in the Belgorod region, and in Taganrog. Another guy called, my mother recalls, saying that Vlad was in Nova Kakhovka and that he had been shot in the legs. The family doesn't know where their brother is now. Stas's son, who looks very much like his father, started first grade in the fall. He is told that his father is at war. Olena recalls that once when a fighter jet was flying too low, the boy took his 8-year-old friend's hand and said, "Don't be afraid. My dad is fighting for Ukraine and will save us all." There was hell in Mariupol. Now there is a second hell. In January, my son was on vacation. He said that he was going to train in Western Ukraine, says Irina Solenchuk. Her son Vladislav is serving in the 43rd Brigade, the 209th Separate Anti-Tank Division. Irina did not know that her son was in Mariupol until the last moment. On February 24, he called me at 5 in the morning and said, "Mom, pack your things and go to the basement. The war has started," she recalls. Vladislav wrote to his mother every day. And on April 12th, when he broke through the encirclement from the Ilyich Iron and Steelworks in Mariupol, he was captured along with 9 of his comrades. Irina learned about it from her son's commander. The woman found the mothers of 9 other soldiers who were taken prisoner with her son. First, the prisoners were sent to Olenivka, and then transferred to a prison in Taganrog. In early June, Irina received a letter from Vladislav. It's in Russian, although we only speak Ukrainian in the family. He writes in his handwriting that he is not wounded, the woman says. There was hell in Mariupol. Now there is a second hell. We don't know how they are there. I don't know how to expect it, says Irina. He doesn't know he's a dad yet. This baby is my grandson Renat. He was born less than a month ago. His father doesn't know about his birth, although he was dreaming and waiting for it. Inna Kolbasova from Mariupol posted a photo of her grandson wearing socks with the words, "I love my dad," on the social network. Volodymyr Kolbasov, a dog handler with the National Guard, like most of the Azovstal defenders, was captured on May the 18th while his family and pregnant wife were hiding in the basements of the city under fire. On February 24, Volodymyr went to his unit to guard a dog kennel. Soon after, it was bombed and all the dogs burned to death, his mother says. He managed to give his German Shepherd to his family. The last time Volodymyr was seen was on March 15th, when he dropped by his house for a few minutes. They heard from him again in April. The family found out that their son was wounded. Shrapnel was removed from his face and arm, but not from his leg. The family didn't know that their son was at Azovstal. They hardly heard any news without the connection. We were in shock because this plant was constantly being bombed. Everything in the house shook when they, Russians, Eddie May, dropped bombs on it. Those were the most terrifying days and nights, Inna says. The woman and her daughter-in-law left Mariupol in June. From July 28 to 29, they had another terrible night. A terrorist attack took place in Olenivka, where, as they were told, their son was being held. They lived in obscurity until September 6th, when a letter from Volodymyr suddenly arrived. He asked about his wife, knowing that she was due to give birth. They wrote him a reply, even printed a photo of the baby, Ed. We hope he will get it. Mom, we will win. The mother of National Guard soldier Maxim Shturmak from the village of Ustia in Lviv Oblast also did not know that her son was at Azovstal. The guy is only 21. Last August, he signed a contract before the end of his military service. After May 6th, he stopped getting in touch. Nothing was known. No one told us what was happening for almost a month, recalls his aunt Galina Vostrikova. They thought that maybe the phones were dead. After the evacuation of the soldiers, the family turned to the police to find the missing soldier. They were told that the military unit 3057, where Maxim was stationed, no longer existed, and hope died completely, Helena says. Later it turned out that Maxim was among the survivors, and he was taken to Olenivka. In July, he told his friend that he was waiting for a trial in Donetsk, Helena says. As his family understood, he was taken from Olenivka a few days before the terrorist attack and then returned again. His friend Christina remembers Maxim as a sociable guy and a leader. He told her that after the victory, he wanted to write a book. To his classmate Ihor, he wrote about his shrapnel wound, after which he thought he was done. His family was worried when the media started talking about a Russian attack in December. Maxim said the military was ready to defend. Mom, we will win, Katerina's mother recalls her son saying. Maxim Shturmak was released from captivity on February 16th, 2023. I give up when my child is not on the list. 22-year-old Mariana Chechelyuk from Mariupol was named in honor of the Mother of God. Mariana is small and thin, but a fighter in life, says her mother, Natalia Chechelyuk. How much health is lost when you wait for those exchange lists and your child is not on them? You give up, but you gather your strength and start all over again. It's like a vicious circle, says the mother. The family lived in Mariupol near Azovstal. During the first days of the invasion, Mariana and her 15-year-old sister Alina were trapped in the plant's dungeon. Mariana is a police lieutenant and helped both military and civilians in the bomb shelter. Mariana and Alina were leaving Azovstal through the humanitarian corridor for civilians on May 1st. However, Mariana was detained at the filtration in Novoazovsk. Only a month later, Natalia learned from a call from a stranger that Mariana was in Donetsk, alive. She was kept in a separate cell for 2 months. My child hasn't been out for 62 days, hasn't seen the sun. On June of the 27th, Mariana was transported to Olenivka. This was told by a released volunteer from Mariupol. The family appealed to all authorities responsible for the release of prisoners. They know about Mariana Chechelyuk, but so far, they cannot return her. I have always asked for all children, for all daughters and sons. I really want everyone to come back and mothers to hug their children, Natalia says. And she wishes no mother to go through what she went through. Do not forget about Chongar. On the night of February of the 24th, a conscript with the call sign Malyi, his name and surname are known to the BBC, but his family does not want to publish them. Ed, from Kherson region, was on duty in the village of Chongar, which borders on Crimea. He called and said that everything was fine, that he loved everyone. We didn't hear his voice again, says a cousin about her 21-year-old brother. In the morning, the family found out that part of it was destroyed, and a lot of bodies were burned, she says. But then an acquaintance recognized the guy in a Russian story about prisoners of war. He has been in captivity for 7 months and 2 days. He is very young. He has his whole life ahead of him. There are a lot of guys left in Chongar, says the sister, worried that the prisoners from Chongar are hardly mentioned in the media. She wrote to Minister Irina Vereshchuk, called the Red Cross, and everyone kept saying that her brother was alive. Meili wrote a letter to his family. It says nothing about whether he is eating or healthy, his sister says, but only that he has a hard winter ahead, but he believes he will return home. His mother communicates with the mothers of the boys from Chongar, and they saw her son. 2 of them were exchanged. Write that he is very kind to us. Everyone knows this. He has many friends. He used to gather 2 or 3 streets for his birthday. And, when he earned his first money, he carried watermelons in the field, bought sweets for his mother and medicine for his grandmother. We are all waiting for him. The Coordination Center says that after the large-scale exchange on September of the 21st, the process will go faster. Within a week, 6 more people were returned. Ukraine promises to return everyone,